Yeah, so me and a brother was talking earlier about basically, I guess you could say like fair relationships, and he was giving his version of how they kind of come about, right? And I was telling him, one of the things that I suggest is a lot of time that we look at our criterion, right? The things that we use to determine if a person is for us or not is the best fit for us or not. Anyway, was that one of the things that I had mentioned to him was that representative person, right? And he was like, "Yeah, that's a false person, but a representative is not who we really are. That's the fake us." And I was like, "Well, that's not necessarily true. The representative does reflect who we are in some degree or another. It's just not who we are in totality. The representative has a lot to do with presenting our best characteristics, our desires, or who we want to be as well, who we're striving to be in totality. That representative doesn't reflect who we are in totality a lot of times. And because the representative is very mental for the most part, right? For most of us, it is the person that, when I say mental, is a person that we are consciously and intentionally presenting to the person, right? Or to the world. And so now, I was, one of the things that I was trying to get him to understand was that that person that the person I feed you, like, because the person that I'm giving you is a projection, but also whom you accept I am and whom you have concluded I am then also becomes that person's projection of me. So it's like I give you a person, and whomever you accept, whether that person be you look at me as being a bad person, or even a projecting someone else giving you of a person, right? Whether you conclude that this person ain't shit, or whether you conclude that this person is everything that I want the person to be, right? And so that projection, though, is whom in your mind, who you have concluded that person to be, the person you meet or whatever, you project that as being the person you are dealing with, right? And so either like or dislike that person as a result of that projection, as a result of whom I also put myself out to be. You receive it and then you project that person back onto me in some form or fashion, right? And then time goes by, then you see that that person possibly isn't who you thought that person was, whom you had projected that person to be. And so a lot of times when that person whom had been projected to you and whom you had projected back to that person, a lot of times when that person is one that you found pleasure in, you liked, you was into, and then you later dislike, that is a lot of times because when we say, "Well, you're not you're not who I thought you were," and that person, "Well, you're not who I thought you were," right? And that is the result of coming in contact and realizing, best coming in contact with the broader sense of who that person is. It's not like you're not just dealing with the representative now. You're not dealing with just a mental person. You're dealing with the emotional piece too now. And it's a lot of time when we come to that conclusion that a person isn't who we thought we were, is because we're dealing with that emotional piece of that person now. We're not just dealing with the mental. Whenever we're dealing with the mental piece of that person, a lot of time that person is exactly who they are when they present the mental piece, because the mental piece a lot of times is again the conscious, the intentional piece. That's who I want you to see. It's who I want you to deal with. That's who I may be even striving to be in totality. That's who I want to be, right? And so whenever we're dealing with that piece, is a lot of consistency. But when we're dealing with the emotional piece, then that becomes either a confirmation of who we've been dealing with in the mental, or a confirmation that there is definitely more to this individual, and that other piece that I've gotten out of that person, like I said, emotional piece, that's not who I like. That's not who I want to deal with. Then I might say, "Well, you're not who I thought you were," right? And as a conclusion, what I was saying was that the emotional piece, that is the most significant piece of a person, because that piece is a piece of person that has been really cultivated by experiences in life and so on, right? That's that raw piece of a person, and that is really the person or the part of a person that one should be most concerned about, because that is the instinctive part of that person. That is the part of that person that you're going to deal with when a person becomes emotional. And that emotion can be love, that emotion can be hate. But when that person becomes emotional and no longer just that mental piece, Once that emotional inclination has kicked in, that is the person that you'll be dealing with. And that is the person that is most significant. And a lot of times, we just have to take the time out to really get to know that person too before we make a decision that this is who I want to deal with.